I attended the University of Louisville, and the impact that it had on my life and career has been monumental throughout these years. First of all, I'm a homegrown product. I grew up in the south end of Louisville near Churchill Downs. I went to DuPont Manual High School. So on many warm days, my friends and I would walk to school, and we would actually walk through the University of Louisville campus. So it was almost to some degree an extension of high school because we were just across the street from one another. I went out on the road and played professionally for several years before I came to college. But the impact of wanting to be a legitimate musician, knowing all of the ins and outs and being the very best writer, arranger, composer, and performer that I could be in my decision to go to U of L because it was close. Again, I was at home. But when I got there, the teachers were just phenomenal in wanting to see me succeed. And so from that standpoint, that was a huge decision that I made versus going somewhere else. And it was a very great decision that I made. I would not trade that. My favorite memory among all of the memories that I have at the University of Louisville will be summed up in one thing. I was one of the two first drum majors that led the marching band when the band was brought back. I have memories of the 1980 National Championship. I have memories of friends that I grew up musically with. I have memories of just being on campus and just being part of that community. And all of those particular things basically encapsulated in my fondest memory, and that was the graduation exercise that I was so nervous, but I was yet so giddy and so happy that I had finally arrived at this moment. All of the things that we had worked hard to do, all of it's sort of like I woke up one day and it seemed like it was there. It seemed like it was never going to get there. That bachelor's degree period time was there. And what I did is I walked across stage to receive my degree. In fact, we had the graduation in Freedom Hall, but the undergraduates sort of watched everybody else. And then we had our unit graduations there in the School of Music. And as I was coming across the stage, I was so nervous, but I was so happy that I walked by the Associate Dean, Dr. Brink, and didn't shake his hand. And I just kind of got to the dean that was passing out the diplomas and just got off the stage as quick as I could. And I had to, I bet you I apologized for 15 years to him for that, that I don't want to call it a snub. It wasn't a snub, but that faux pas that I had on that particular day. That basically is my fondest memory that captures sort of in essence of everything else collectively that my university experience happened to be. Winning the Alumni Award for the year 2022 of the School of Music, I am still in disbelief that I was so honored to have this award. I would have never been able to dream that I would have been in a position to be accorded this honor by my peers and those on a committee. I considered myself a pretty good person. Throughout my career, I've wanted to achieve because I had some great teachers who wanted me to succeed. They actually poured a lot of their sweat into pushing me, to teaching me, to guiding me. And yet, even through the years as I have been in other positions and done other things in my career, I would have never believed that I would be so honored. And so to have this honor sort of like brings everything back full circle, that, you know, you're back again in the arms of the family that you dearly love, but also that the university that really birthed your career, that was able to give you confidence to go to the next level, or say levels, is now saying to you that you are worth our time, that you are worthy of the time that we put in and invested in you. You were actually worth saving. You were actually worth grooming. You were worth doing all of the things that we did as a university and a school of music community, especially as a school of music community. We believed in you then, and we've seen you do the things that you've done through the years, and that belief did not return void. And so for me to accept this honor, it's basically a tribute to those particular persons and professors and even staff members that helped groom me. But it's also a testament to any other young person that is thinking, what will my career be like? Will I ever reach a point where I'm going to be accepted by my peers or even recognized by my colleagues? Will the journey be worth it? Will I get some personal satisfaction out of this? Will those particular things that happened to me, some of the times that I felt like a failure or things didn't go right, whether it was musically or either from an interpersonal relationship, but especially that maybe my music wasn't good enough and I had to work harder on it. But it's a culmination of saying you've arrived. And it's not so much that you've arrived at being someone that may be the greatest composer or the greatest musician, but you arrived because, again, you were vindication of the worth of your personage, the worth of your musicianship, but also your value as a human being that the University of Louisville School of Music invested in me. And I am so very grateful and very thankful. And I will, not only am I going to cherish this award, but I'm definitely will always be an ambassador for the University of Louisville and the School of Music because of the things that they have done, not only for me, but what they have meant to me. It's very ironic. My career path has taken me over a really sort of circuitous journey. As I mentioned, I went to DuPont Manual High School, graduated, and I went out on the road with several very high profile touring groups. And I did that for several years. And then I came back to school to be a student. And I played on weekends, but nevertheless, I wanted to be a music professor. And what drove that passion was the music professors that I had. I really wanted to emulate them and yet keep my hand in the church and also into the popular world, as well as the art music that I love as well. So I did return, as I mentioned, to the University of Louisville. When I received the bachelor's degree, it was really a springboard to staying at the university and receiving a master's degree. My first full-time job was band director at Savannah State University. I did that for a couple of years, and I did some substitute work in the music areas in Jefferson County Public School System. I continued to play on weekends and with the groups in the nightclubs and in the touring world. I went to the University of Kentucky and received a doctorate in music composition. I taught for a couple of years at Western Kentucky University. And then I went to Kentucky State. Actually, it was a return to Kentucky State from an interim position. I went back as the band director at Kentucky State. I did that for several years. And then I did some classroom teaching and moved up the ladder through those particular years at Kentucky State. I continued to work in my church and churches. Then I went to Southern Seminary and received another master and another doctorate in theology and ministry. And I started also pastoring a church. I'm at the Southern Star Baptist Church now as my second pastorate. I've celebrated 12 years there. And so I retired. I did this work and then I retired from Kentucky State in 2014. Again, continuing to do the musical things I do, continuing to write for publications such as the R.H. Boyd Corporation out of Nashville, Tennessee, that does vacation Bible school music and literature and other type of commentary work. writing for other religious publications, and doing things of this nature. And also, as I've done this and continue to do this, I bought the TNT recording studios in 2014. So I've been working with artists at my studio where I'm actually doing this taping from. And then I was honored to come back to the University of Louisville as a part-time lecturer. And that's a position that I hold today. I've done this for the last 3 years. So this whole thing in my life is that it really is sweet at this point, because I feel like I have come full circle. And actually, to be honest with you, the University of Louisville, teaching in the School of Music was always a dream job, and it just seemed like it never happened during the bulk of my career. And as I'm still seemingly in a career that I thought I was going to end, yet I find great joy of being able to bring my expertise into a department that, again, birthed me. So I feel like I've come full circle in what I have done, but also what I am doing.